Okay, hello to the group. I want to do a quick show and tell video, informational, yada yada, on some fishing line because I've been I had a bit of an epiphany, a moment of clarity in my thought process, and I wanted to share it. So when you're looking at fishing line, you got to look at two things. You got to look at the pound test, of course, of what you want to use. Well, maybe three things: the pound test, the line diameter, and the color. Color can be anything. Take your pick, whatever you like. I like bright colors because it's easier to see. And you got to look at line diameter compared to all the brands of what is the thinnest performance-based line you can find, and that is going to determine, I think, the R&D of the manufacturing process and the materials of the line. Right? A thicker line is, I'm thinking, easier to make. You have to be less finite with your manufacturing process to get that line. But if you want a very thin line, then you have to design your components and manufacturing to get you that thin line with that pound test advantage. All right, yada yada. And then color is whatever. And pound test obviously relates to line diameter. So I've been fishing this, and I've been having a hard time with it. Not necessarily a hard time, but I've been thinking, maybe it's the line. And I've started feeling the line. This is the Hercules right here that I got off of AliExpress. 6 pound, 1,000 yards, 0.003 inches. And it's very, I wish I would have done the comparison of inches to millimeters because everything's in millimeters. But I think it's at 0.08 millimeters, which for this type of line and cost of line is great. That's a great performance value. But when you start feeling it, it feels really rough. There's a lot of purchase to the line, and that is going to interfere with the casting and everything else. Those little minute, I don't want to say variations, but ribbing in that line is going to make a difference when you cast on such a small reel with a lot of small stuff going on in here. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. Stand by. All right. So here are my 3 line types that I've had experience with: J-Braid, Hercules, and S-Pro. Let's start with the most expensive, and that's S-Pro. This stuff is like $40 a box. It's 6 pound, and it's 0.1 millimeter. It's a very nice line, and it's pink as I pull it out of the box. And pink looks great when it's all spooled up, but once you get it off the spool and in the water, it starts to look kind of white, and then you kind of lose the line as you're using it and casting it, and that's the thing I don't like about it. But it's good line. It's just crazy expensive. Crazy expensive. And it's thick. 0.1 millimeters. 0.1 millimeters thick for 6 pound. That's too thick in my book. So I went to this. Here we go. Hercules is pretty decent. Crazy cheap. This 1,000 yards is like, well, depending upon how you purchase it and where you purchase it from, it's anywhere from $18 to $22 for 1,000 yards. Great deal. But like I said, it has this, you can almost hear it. This ribbing on it. Love the color. Great color. So then, on a whim, not on a whim, but I spooled up my Cardinal 3, Zebco Cardinal 3, with the J-Braid. And the interesting thing about the J-Braid is that it leads the industry for minimal line diameter. 6 pound, 0.06 millimeters. I don't think there's a line on the market, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, that is thinner than the J-Braid. I'm going to say there isn't. From what have I experienced in my research, There is nothing out there that is thinner than this. And this isn't even the J-Braid Grand. This is just a regular J-Braid. And this stuff is nice and shiny. It's got some kind of coat on it. And then, I got this all taped up. But when you feel it, it is smooth as silk. There is no purchase on this line whatsoever. And that's when I had the bright line, the bright white moment of clarity, or whatever. I got that all messed up. But I had the moment of clarity to say that J-Braid, irregardless of the expense, this isn't cheap either. This is all over the place on pricing. Usually about 20 bucks a spool. I'm going to go with the J-Braid. I'm going to move everything to this product and go with it and be done. I'm not going to buy the Hercules. I'm not even going to put it on my bait casters. I'm going to put nothing but J-Braid on everything and go from there. Because, you know, when you're out there, you don't want stuff to just give you some heartache and mess up on you when you've spent all the time to get to where you're going, to get everything all set, the rod, the reel, and you just don't want your line to be just messed up or not performing as good as it should. I'm still figuring these things out, because back in the day, it was nothing but 8 to 12 pound trilene. And trilene on this lightweight equipment just doesn't do it, because a 6 pound trilene is 0.20 millimeters. 0.20, over three times the diameter of this, which is interesting. So, and of course, this light line allows you to cast the light JDM baits, the really, really small stuff. And that's what's, I think, has changed in the industry is the line materials, along with better made rods, not necessarily better made reels. I think the reels are all kind of the same, but it's the line and the rods and everything else. Basically the line. Of course, the reel has to be tuned to, JDM type baits, and you can get away with spinning reels all day long. It's just the bait casters that need to be crazily tuned, and with micro elite components and yada yada. But that's my takeaway. I'm going all J-Braid, not even J-Braid Grand, just straight J-Braid, 6 pound, 0.06 millimeters, which is just crazy. All right, that's the story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.